so it kind of doubles. It's a time to it's for a time to celebrate um, in your exile, so that you can enter into your redemption. Um, this is when your true identity comes forth. Apparently, like with every month, they have different. God has different things that He teaches us, and it's important for us to know our different months. And this is the month where we learn our identity.
Mm.
It helps us to develop our strategy, our war strategy against the giants. So Adar is the 12th month of the Jewish calendar. And Adar means strength. This is a month of good fortune for Jewish people and a month of joy.
Good fortune. Yay.
The joy of Adar is what makes this a pregnant month of the year. 7 of the 19 years in the cycle of the Jewish calendar are leap years, which are pregnant, which an additional month Adar. When our 2 months of Adar in the calendar year, Purim, is celebrated in the second Adar in order to connect the redemption of Purim and the redemption of Passover.
Mm.
Adar is in the month of Naphtali, which means sweetness to me. It's a time of celebration so that any curse is overturned and things become sweet. Adar is a good month, but also a dangerous month. It goes on to talk about a lot of us don't celebrate our endings, and it's important to celebrate the endings of different parts of our lives.
Wow.
And when you start celebrating the endings, it talks about how, like, you start having laughter and you're having joy and things like that, things start falling off. So if you're in a lot of anxiety, fear, when you start having that joy and letting the laughter in, it breaks off the darkness. It also talks about, this is the consolation for this month is Pisces, which is a month of fishes. And it talks about, you will find your supply in hidden world. This is the month where Jesus told Peter to find the fish and the money in its mouth to pay their taxes.
Mm-hmm.
There's an identity for you which is linked to the invisible world, not in the natural. Some of us never tap into our identity in the supernatural. We just stay in the natural. Don't go through life like that saying, I just want to be practical. All that means is that you want to be accepted and conformed by the world's standards. Discover your identity in the spiritual realm and see how the Lord is conforming you by the Spirit. Identity and activate your gifts. Do not try to be something that you're not. God has given us an identity in your spiritual realm. The demons know the identity that is written on us, so this is the time to become who we are meant to be by the Spirit. Your true identity should begin to reflect by the end of the year process. Don't be legalistic in this, but you should understand that God cycles in the earth realm to draw forth your identity. What is in your spirit will be reflected physically. And then also it talks about the Hebrew letter, K-U-F. I don't really know how you say it, but this is the month to remove your masquerade. So basically God wants us to move any masks that are in our lives, so that we can come into true joy. Let's see. It goes on to talk about developing your war strategy against Antichrist spirit is critical this month. When you study this in the word, you will find the concept of Amalek rising. If you are not careful, the giants will produce fear in you and stop your forward movement. The enemy wants you to end the year with some sort of fear in you that keeps you from moving into the fullness of the next season. Guard yourself from adultery in this season as well. Adar is the time for any wrong decrees to be broken off of you. Wrong spiritual decrees will attempt to surround your atmosphere. Ungodly decrees that have been spoken over you from the past or present will cycle around and cause even people who love you to speak hurtful and negative words. The atmosphere will be filled with that voice, and you will find yourself repeating the same words over yourself. You must take authority over these wrong decrees and speak God's words and plans over you. This is the time for leadership to awaken. God determines times and seasons, but Satan tries to change them. One of the most effective tools the enemy uses is to get out of the time. That's why the Lord wants us to understand the tribes of the months so that we can recognize God's cycles in the earth. The Lord has seed time and harvest and revelation flow that is going to move us to the fullness of His plan. When we are in God's right timing, we won't fall prey to the enemy's tactics and interrupt us any longer. We will stay in alignment with God and keep moving on to the next blessing. And that's pretty much about Adar.